UFC Fight Night in UFC Vegas 101. Dern versus Ribas 2 takes place this weekend, and I'm going to go to the full card breakdown and in detailed predictions. I don't care if it's 2025. This is a shit card. We will start away with the early prelim opener of Joe Selecki versus Nurullo Aliev. Whoa, what a great fight. Aliev beats him. He's better everywhere. Who gives a shit? I'm not taking this serious. I'm not going to take these Apex cards serious anymore. It's probably more so due to the main event being absolute dog shit and having zero hype whatsoever. But I don't care. This is a shit card. I'm not going to actually predict this shit. I'm just going to think who I think wins. I'm not going to look, he beat this guy, that guy. I'll only take that serious if there's a good fight night card or a pay-per-view. Either way, I'm not taking this Apex shit serious. I'm going to go with Nurullo Aliev. He's better. I'm just not going to look at what they've done recently. I'm just going to say, Joe Selecki, he's just a jiu-jitsu nerd. I don't see him subbing Aliev. Aliev beat Alves. That's a good win. Here and there, I'll predict some. He beat Alves, though. Alves is a strong, physical man, not a soy boy nerd like Joe Selecki, and he out-grappled Alves. I'm going to predict that he can out-grapple Selecki, because many others have been able to. And on the feet, I think Aliev can have an edge in that there. An edge in that department as well. We move on up the card. Victoria Dudakova versus Fatima Klein. I'm going to go Dudakova. We move on up the card. Magomed Gadziasolov versus Bruno Lopez. Now, I've done research, obviously, because I just want to get my picks correct starting this card off. But if I get the main event wrong, I'm not counting it. No one should. Even if you get it right, you shouldn't be proud. It's women's MMA. I'm going to go with Magomed Gadziasolov. Both guys fought Brenson Ribeiro. Bruno Lopez got KO'd by Brenson Ribeiro. That's not a good look. And Magomed Gadziasolov beat Ribeiro. But overall, Bruno Lopez is absolute dog shit. He has good accuracy. And maybe he can get far since it's light heavyweight. But Magomed Gadziasolov is actually kind of good. He's not. I need to stop pretending. I need to be real. I think he is better than Bruno Lopez, who is just a slugger, and you're not going to get far. Ryan Spann KOs you right now. I'm just going to be real with you, Bruno Lopez. Yeah, you've won some fights. I don't care. Who did you beat last time? You beat Mikhail Sazniani. You're just not good, alright? And you haven't made your improvements. And Magomed Gadziasolov, he's got some good top control at least, and I'm going to rely on him getting the job done based on that. We move on up the card. Ernesta Kelikate versus Nicole Cagliari. You know what? I'll actually spend time on this one, unlike the Dudakova one, where I do believe Dudakova wins. If you really wanted some in-depth, Dudakova is just better everywhere than Fatima Klein. But I'll go Ernesta Kelikate. She's just better at range. She's got better kicks. She's just a long-rangey woman. And in the case of Cagliari, if she can't get her takedown, can't get her subs going, and can't get anything going on the feet, she's just going to be lost. And in her UFC debut here, I just don't see that ending well. So I'm going to pick Kelikate to win a decision. We move on up the card. Preston Parsons versus Jacoby Smith. Man, why can we start off the year with Makhachev versus Sarukian? Why? Why does it have to be this shit first? I'm going to go with Preston Parsons actually getting this one done. Jacoby Smith could win. He is a fast-twitch, muscle-fibered freak. Probably on something, let's be honest. But, do I see him knocking out Preston Parsons? I know Daniel Rodriguez did, but it was on short notice years ago. And it's not like he KO'd him. He kind of just overwhelmed him with boxing. And Preston Parsons, yeah, he did lose to Oban Elliott, but Oban Elliott smoking everyone recently. Smoked Basil Hafez, you know? And Preston Parsons stood his own against Oban Elliott, arguably won the third round. Jacoby's taking it on a week's notice. So I don't see him winning this. I'm going to go with Preston Parsons getting himself the win. He's just like he beat Matthew Semmelsberger, as I predicted in that fight. I said he'd win that. And he got the job done. Semmelsberger's a big powerhouse. He out-grappled him. So I can see round 1 being dangerous. And then as it goes on, I can see Preston Parsons, Preston Parsons, pressuring the fight and getting the takedowns and overwhelming and getting a decision win over Jacoby Smith. We move on, up the card. Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden. I'm going to go with... Man, we've already 6 minutes in this video. Fuck, I need to hurry up because it's a long-ass card. I'm going to go with Trey Ogden. Man, what a nerd fight. I'm going to go Ogden now. I think Ogden's better on the feet, skill-wise, compared to Moises, who is just a guy that just throws and just has no fucking technique. Good leg kicks here and there. I'm sure Ogden can figure that out. On the ground, I do worry for Ogden. But, you know, he's beaten decent guys lately. He beat Daniel Zellhuber before. You know, he did lose to Bahamondes, but that guy is looking crazy good right now. Just KO'd Manuel Torres. No shame in losing to Ignacio by a competitive decision. And Moises has just been looking terrible. But Ogden is good. On the ground, on the feet. Moises could get the takedown. I doubt it. I think Ogden can do damage. He's a very smart fighter, Ogden. So I'll pick him to win. We move on up the card. I don't give a fuck, man. This is a whatever card. I won't be like this when Adesanya versus Imavov happens. That's actually a good card that I actually can put effort into. And Makhachev Sarukian and Dricus Strickland, although that is a mid-pay-per-view. It's got Dricus Strickland, not fucking Ribas Dern. Marco Tulio versus Ihor Potieria. Ihor Potieria is fucking shit. He doesn't know how to fucking tuck his chin. And I think Cesar Almeida isn't as good as people make him out to be. And still, Ihor did get fucked over by the ref in that fight with it getting separated, I do believe. Or him getting groin shotted a bunch of times and not a point didn't get taken away. Something happened in that fight, I forgot. It was that boring. I'm gonna go with Marco Tulio. This guy's actually skilled as hell. And he beat Yusri Belagrui, the guy that fought in Glory Kickboxing against Pereira and Israel Adesanya. And he's been looking great. I'm sure he'll go out there and get a first round KO. This guy actually has talent, and I see it in him, and I think he'll carry that on against Ihor Potieria. We move on up the card. Jose Johnson versus Felipe Boons. Who cares? It's a mid-fight. Both of them will never fucking touch gold. I'm going to pick Jose Johnson because I think he's got sick grappling. Not even sick grappling. Like, he has good range. Felipe Boons is just a guy that cowers away and just doesn't want to be there. And it's just... Jose Johnson should win this fight with his range. He's a weight bully for flyweight. If you don't win this, Jose Johnson, you should be cut from the sport. You are, you're a featherweight. Even O'Malley and Sandhagen aren't this tall and rangy. Go to featherweight, you bum. He'll win this, though, and I'll pick Jose Johnson. We move on up the card. Punelli Soriano versus Uros Medic. Okay, a decent fight. Actually, a decent fight. I'm going to go with... Man, something's telling me to pick Punelli Soriano. I mean, I'm just going to risk it on some of these cards because, what's the fucking point? I mean, it would add to my... This does count to my win-loss ratio, but should I even count it? But what if I do really good on this card? That's the thing. So I can sense a Soriano win for some reason. Like, I know he's not good. He beat Miguel Baeza. That guy's awful. But Ribas Medic did lose to Oralby. But Soriano has been working with the wrestling and been working takedowns. But I feel like this fight, I don't think he's gonna do that. I could see Ribas Medic winning this fight. Actually, I'm gonna go with Ribas Medic. I just don't trust. For some reason, I just don't trust the IQ of Soriano to shoot takedowns here, and that's the way to beat Ribas Medic. And I could see a first round KO and a scrap for Ribas Medic. He put away Tim Means in round 1. That's somewhat impressive at this point. Not really, though. Somewhat not impressive, I meant to say at this point. So I'm gonna pick Ribas Medic. Soriano. Did he get KO'd before? If he has, yeah, Kopylov put him away. Yeah, I'm going to pick him to win. And plus, Brennan Allen scored him at range. Not a good look. We move on. And he beat Dolce Lingambula and Miguel Baeza. 2 fucking cans. We move on at the card. Austin Bashi versus Christian Rodriguez. I'm going to go Austin Bashi. Another decent fight. See, when it gets to the main card, it's actually decent. Yeah, there's some decent fights. I'm going to go Austin Bashi. I've rewatched his fights as well. He's actually really good. And I like watching him fight because, like, I think if this was if Christian Rodriguez was at bantamweight, I mean, obviously this wouldn't have happened because Austin Bashi's a 145er. But I think at bantamweight, where you had the weight advantage, Christian Rodriguez did really good there. And I'm starting to think the weight kind of just threw off a lot of guys. Like, I think it gassed out Raul Rosas Jr., who had his back in round 1. Cameron Simon kind of shit the bed, but, like, I think the weight was too much. And I think now we're kind of seeing how shit Gregory Rodriguez is. And, not Gregory Rodriguez. No. Gregory Rodriguez is actually really good. Christian Rodriguez is actually a pussy. That's the difference there. Gregory Rodriguez is a savage. He'll fucking sleep Cannonier soon. Gregory Rodriguez is good. Christian Rodriguez is a pussy. I'm going to go with Austin Bashi by decision. I'll say close 29-28 decision. I say he gets, like, back take moments and kind of spends the round there on Christian Rodriguez, who, let's face it, lost to Isaac Dolgarian and recently just got exposed by Julian Orosa, the legend himself. So I'm going to go Austin Bashi. He's actually really good, and we don't really know about his cardio. We don't know about this stuff yet, but I just know he has slick jiu-jitsu, and I trust him to beat a Rodriguez, who isn't that great. Who is good, but, like, not better than Bashi. We move on up the card. Chris Curtis versus Roman Kopylov. There we go! Actual good fights. I'm going to go with Roman Kopylov. I think he beats Chris Curtis. Now, Chris Curtis is good, but the issue I have with Extreme Couture recently, and I've kind of thought about this, they don't switch game plans up. They do the same shit. And some fights it can work. Like Chris Curtis beats Marc-Andre Barriault. Sean Strickland beats Apollo Costa. But when it comes to top-level guys like Brennan Allen for Curtis and Dricus du Plessis in the case for Strickland, it's just there's no improvements. And I feel like they are starting to get figured out, and I'm worried for Strickland. I think Dricus is going to finish him in the rematch soon. And I think Curtis, these guys have egos, and they think this will work every time. Curtis is not winning this fight. You know, lost to Allen, came off a bad injury, let's not forget. Did good in that fight, but Allen was schooling him at range. I don't like Allen striking, man. I know Curtis was hurting him at moments, and maybe he can hurt Kopylov, but I think Kopylov has the takedown edge here. He showed decent grappling against Cesar Almeida when it was needed. And on the feet, I think he's got way better kicks. Boxing, I'd say Curtis has better boxing in general, but I think the kicks will be too much, and I think we're going to see a 30-27 domination schooling from Roman Kopylov. He took out Soriano, who's like a more shitty version of Curtis. I'm sure he can figure out Curtis here and get the job done. I got Roman Kopylov. We'll see. We move on. Hernandez beat him, but Hernandez grapples, and it's a whole different style. We move on up the card. Abdulrazak Al-Hassan versus Cesar Almeida. I got Cesar Almeida. I know I just said he was overrated earlier. I think he wins. Fuck this card. I hate making this prediction video. I was really dreading not making it, but I have to. I'm going to go with Cesar Almeida. Better kickboxer. Abdul doesn't grapple, and I think Cesar will skull him to a decision in a fun scrap. Fight of the night. Abdul does good. We move on up the card. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Carlston Harris. Ponzinibbio can't take shots anymore. I don't see him knocking out Harris. I don't see him subbing Harris. I don't see him winning at range against Harris. I'll say Harris drops him and gets an anaconda choke. He did sleep Morono, to be fair, but Morono's shit. So what's the point? He was losing the whole fight anyways till he got a fluke punch. So I'm going to go with Carlston Harris getting the job done, either KOing Ponzi in round 1 or dropping him and getting... I'll say he drops him and gets an anaconda choke, puts Ponzi out, and retires him. We move on. Up the card. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas 2. Shit, I'm really thinking about this all week, guys. Fuck! I know I'm supposed to be like, yeah, we're back, but it's hard. Why not fucking, like, Marvin Vittori versus Caio Baralho in the main event instead? Like, I actually been like, okay, this is actually sick. I'm gonna go for Amanda Ribas. Mackenzie Dern is too fucking inconsistent, in my opinion. Like, yeah, she wins fights, yeah. But then she loses, then she wins, then she loses. Until I can see her at least on a 2-fight winning streak, and maybe if she wins this, I'll start to believe in her. Until then, I'm picking Ribas, because I think Ribas is a way better striker than her. Skill-wise, at least. Like, I think at range, Ribas has better kicks. She's more dynamic, in my opinion. Dern just wings overhands like a fucking retard that doesn't know how to fucking train. I'm really mean in this video today, guys. I'm going to go with Amanda Ribas. I don't see her getting out-grappled, although she does lay on her back a lot. And people just control, like, Pinheiro is on top of you. So I do worry about that, but it's not like Dern subs you anymore. She doesn't really sub people anymore. Godinez, I think, is worse at BJJ in general, on the ground, or off her back in general. She was able to survive. This is a 5-rounder, which I think benefits Ribas. And I don't see Dern knocking her out. That's a worry I do have, though. I don't see Dern knocking her out. Like, I just don't see Dern gets to KO. Like, I just don't see it. Although it can happen, I just don't see Dern having the IQ or skill or accuracy to even get there. And I could see, you know what? I'm going to say Ribas. No. Ribas destroyed Araujo for fucking 3 rounds. And she did already against Rose. And she did good against Caitlin Chukagian as well. And she also beat Jandaroba. Who else did she beat? She lost to Macy Barber. But Macy Barber's actually really good. Dern. And actually on a winning streak. So I'm going to pick Amanda Ribas. I think that she's better by far. And I can see this being a scrap, honestly. But I think Ribas gets it. She won the first fight. I think she'll win again. I think she's just a lot better. But if she just loses and looks shit, Ribas, then it doesn't fucking count. It's women's MMA. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Fuck this shit card. Please come, Makhachev Arman. Fuck this shit, man. I'm not making any fucking recaps or anything to this shit. Honestly. Fuck this. I'm just posting this video and fucking moving on.